The scene opens with a vast, silent desert at twilight, reminiscent of a Dali painting. A lone, ornate grandfather clock stands half buried in the sand, its hands spinning backward at an impossible speed. The sky is a deep, bruised purple, with two moons hanging in the air. Have you ever felt it? The paralysis that comes not from a lack of options, but from a surplus of them. A crossroads with 1,000 branching paths, each shimmering with promise, each whispering of potential ruin. You stand frozen, a navigator without a compass, drowning in a sea of advice, data, and the hollow opinions of the crowd. This state of being has a name. It is the orphan's labyrinth. You are the orphan because you feel utterly alone with the weight of your own freedom. And you are in a labyrinth because every turn you consider, every logical step you plot, seems only to lead you deeper into the maze of your own indecision. Stay with me through this session. And I promise you, by the end, you will not be given a map out of your labyrinth. You will be given something far more valuable. The key to summoning the cartographer who resides within you. Phase 2. The problem you feel it most acutely in the silent hours past midnight. The career choice. The collapsing relationship. The creative project that has stalled into a monument of your self-doubt. You have made the lists of pros and cons until the ink has bled through the paper. You have consulted the digital oracle of the internet, feeding your anxiety with an endless stream of articles and forums, each one contradicting the last. You ask your friends, your family, and what they give you back is a mirror of their own fears, their own unlived lives. Their advice, however well-intentioned, is a garment tailored for them, and it hangs on you, ill-fitting and strange. And so you do nothing. You choose the terrible safety of stasis. Let me tell you about a young architect I once knew in my practice. A brilliant mind, tasked with designing a new city library. He had two competing visions. One was safe, classical, an homage to the past. It was guaranteed to be praised for its quiet dignity. It would be a respectable, and forgettable, building. His second vision was radical. A structure of spiraling glass and living gardens, a place where knowledge literally grew and reached for the sun. It was risky, expensive, and it terrified him. For months, he was trapped. He built models of both, ran simulations, polled his colleagues. He was a man possessed by the ghost of the right choice. He didn't just feel stuck, he was stuck. The land where the library was to be built remained an empty lot, a testament to his paralysis. The apathetic public sees only your inaction. But you feel the internal cost. This isn't just about making a bad decision. The hidden wound of the orphan's labyrinth is the slow, steady erosion of your own self-trust. With every outsourced opinion, every moment you choose the scroll of distraction over the silence of introspection, you're sending a message to the deepest part of your psyche. The message is, you're not to be trusted. Your voice is not worth hearing. The walls of the labyrinth are not built of wrong turns. They are built of the refusal to turn at all. And soon, the silence in the maze is broken by a chilling echo. The sound of your own potential, withering on the vine. You become a tourist in your own life, spectating as the critical moments pass you by, decided by default, by the currents of the world, but never by you. Phase 3. The solution. What if I told you that the guide you are searching for is not in a book, not on a screen, and not in the mouth of another? What if I told you he is already with you, and has been since the dawn of your consciousness? He has been relegated to the quiet corners of your mind, dismissed as fantasy, as daydreams, as the foolish whisper you ignore in favor of rational thought. In the language of the psyche, we call this inner figure by a name, the wise old man. This is not just the kindly wizard of folklore, the Gandalf, the Dumbledore, the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Those are merely the cultural costumes he wears. The archetype of the wise old man is a fundamental psychic structure. He is the personification of meaning, of spirit, of the accumulated wisdom of our species, encoded and alive within your own unconscious. He is the part of you that survived every crisis your ancestors ever faced, that learned from every mistake, that witnessed the rise and fall of empires from a vantage point beyond time. To understand how to contact him, you must first understand the principles upon which he operates. They are the very antithesis of the ego's frantic logic. First, is the principle of spirit. The ego, your conscious self, is concerned with survival and mechanics. It asks, how do I get the promotion? How do I fix this relationship? How can I be safe? The wise old man asks a different, more terrifying, and more essential question. Why? He is not a strategist, he is a philosopher. He trades in meaning, not in tactics. He knows that a life of tactical successes can add up to a profound spiritual failure. He will always guide you toward what is meaningful, not merely what is advantageous. Second, is the principle of foresight. This is not magic. It is a form of knowing that transcends the data available to your conscious mind. Call it intuition, a gut feeling, a sudden, inexplicable insight. The wise old man has access to the vast, submerged archives of your unconscious. He sees the patterns you miss, connects the dots across decades of your life, and understands the symbolic language of your dreams. While your ego is playing checkers with the facts in front of you, he is playing chess on a board that spans your entire existence. His guidance often feels paradoxical because he sees the whole game, not just the next move. And third, is the principle of benevolent authority. The wise old man never commands. He is not a tyrant. His is the voice of quiet, unshakable authority that comes from deep knowing. He offers. He suggests. He reveals. He might present you with a symbol, a feeling, or a choice, but the choice is always yours. To engage with him is to learn to trust an aspect of yourself that has your ultimate wholeness at heart, even if his counsel leads you toward the dragon you have been desperately avoiding. Because he knows, what you most need is to be found where you least want to look. Think of it this way. Your conscious ego is a sailor in a small boat, tossed on the surface of a vast ocean. The sailor can see the weather, the waves, the direction of the wind. This is all useful, practical information. The wise old man is the deep-sea diver. He is not concerned with the temporary squalls on the surface. He can descend into the silent, crushing depths of the psyche. Down there, in the darkness, lie the ancient shipwrecks of your personal and collective past, the coral reefs of forgotten beauty, and the pearls of wisdom that have been forming for millennia. He does not bring back raw data. He brings back a single, perfect pearl. A symbol. An image. A feeling. And he places it in the sailor's hand. It is the sailor's job to understand its meaning and navigate by its light. To escape the orphan's labyrinth, you must stop frantically scanning the horizon and learn, instead, how to listen to the diver who returns from the deep. The camera descends from the library, through a pool of water on the floor. We are now in a deep, silent ocean. Bioluminescent creatures drift past. On the seafloor sits a single, ancient, weathered stone throne. Phase 4. The application. This is not a theoretical exercise. It is a practice, a sacred technology of the soul. You can initiate a dialogue with your inner mentor, but you must do so with intention and respect. The unconscious responds to ritual and seriousness of purpose. Here are 5 steps to open the channel. I urge you to try this not once, but to make it a recurring practice. This is how you build the most important relationship of your life, the one with your own deepest self. Step 1. Create a sanctum. You cannot have this meeting in a noisy coffee shop or in the 5 minutes between conference calls. Designate a time and a physical space, however humble, for this work. It could be a corner of your room, late at night, when the world is asleep. Turn off your phone. Turn off the television. Light a single candle. Put on music without words. This ritual is not for show. It is a signal to your own psyche. You are saying, I am ready to listen. I am closing the door to the clamor of the world, and opening a door to the wisdom within. You are preparing the temple for the God to arrive. Step 2. Pose the question as a koan. Your ego wants a simple answer. Job A or job B? Stay or go? The wise old man does not speak this language. To ask such a question is like asking a master poet to help you with your taxes. You must elevate the inquiry. Reframe your dilemma as a search for meaning. Instead of, what should I do? Ask, what is this situation asking of me? Or, what quality within myself must be brought forth to meet this challenge? Or, show me the path that leads to the greatest expansion of my soul, even if it brings suffering. You are not asking for a map. You are asking for a compass bearing. Step 3. Practice active imagination. This is the central technique, developed by the great psychologist Carl Jung. Sit in your sanctum. Close your eyes. Do not try to empty your mind. Instead, allow an image to form. Imagine yourself at the top of a stone staircase, descending into the earth. Or perhaps before a heavy, wooden door in the center of a forest. With each step down, with the turn of the handle, feel yourself moving deeper into your own inner world. Let this landscape create itself. It may be a library, a cave by the sea, a mountaintop observatory, a blacksmith's forge. Do not judge it. Simply arrive. Now, wait for a figure to appear. You may have an expectation of a man with a long white beard, but be open to surprise. Your inner mentor may appear as a silent, old woman tending her garden. A blind musician. A talking animal. The form he or she takes is a symbolic message in itself. Trust what emerges from the depths. The defining quality will not be their appearance, but the unmistakable feeling of quiet, profound wisdom they emanate. Step 4. Engage in dialogue. Once the figure is present, speak your question, your koan, aloud or in your mind. Then, fall silent. This is the crucial moment. Your ego will scream to fill the void. It will tell you, this is stupid. You're just making this up. Your task is to gently set that voice aside and simply listen with your entire being. The answer may not come in words. It may be a sudden, vivid image. A memory from your childhood you had long forgotten. It could be a physical sensation, a warmth in your chest, a feeling of being rooted to the earth. The figure might simply hand you an object, a key, a stone, a seed. Or, the answer may be a profound, resonant silence, which is itself a message. Be patient. The time for knowing is not yet. Whatever happens, receive it without judgment. After the experience, write it down in a journal. Describe the place, the figure, the message, the feeling. This honors the experience and anchors it in the conscious world. Step 5. Translate the symbol into action. This work is not an escape. It is a preparation. The dialogue is a strategic briefing for the battle of life. You must now translate the symbolic message into a small, concrete, real-world action. If you received an image of a compass, your action might be to spend an hour alone, writing down your core values. If the figure gave you a seed, your action might be to sign up for the class you've been dreaming of, to plant the first seed of a new skill. If you experienced a profound silence, your action might be to commit to 10 minutes of meditation every day for a week. This small, decisive act is critical. It is your way of telling the unconscious, I heard you. I trust you. And I am your partner in this world. This is how the labyrinth walls begin to dissolve. Not with one grand, perfect choice, but with a series of small, wise steps, taken in faith. The scene shifts. We are now in a grand, celestial observatory. A massive telescope is pointed not at the stars, but down, at a glowing, intricate model of a human brain on a pedestal. Planets and nebulae drift slowly outside the windows. Phase 5. The proof. You may still hear the voice of the skeptic, the voice of the ego, whispering that this is mere fantasy. But this process is not an invention of the New Age. It is one of the oldest, most powerful forms of human cognition. Consider the man who gave this archetype its modern name, Carl Jung. In the middle of his life, after his painful break from his friend and mentor, Sigmund Freud, Jung found himself utterly lost. He was a brilliant professor, a respected doctor, but his inner world was collapsing. He had entered his own orphan's labyrinth, a period he later called his creative illness. He was haunted by visions, plagued by uncertainty. His rational mind had no answers. So, he did something radical. He decided to turn and face the figures that were emerging from his unconscious. He began to practice what he would later call active imagination. And in this process, he met a figure. An old man with the wings of a kingfisher and the horns of a bull. Jung named him Philemon. Philemon became Jung's inner guru. He was not a symptom of madness, he was the cure. Philemon taught Jung about the objective reality of the psyche, that the soul is a world as real as the physical one. He told Jung, I am not the man you think I am. I am the man who thinks. He was the personification of a wisdom greater than Jung's own ego. The entire architecture of Jung's later work, the theories of archetypes, of the collective unconscious, of individuation, was built upon the foundation of his dialogues with Philemon. He found his way out of the labyrinth not by thinking harder, but by learning to listen to the wise old man who lived within him. This is not an isolated case. Socrates spoke of his demon, a divine inner voice that guided him by telling him what not to do. The great poet Rilke, when paralyzed by writer's block, would walk for hours, asking his inner angel for a single line. The logic is simple and profound. Your conscious mind is a powerful tool, but it operates on a ridiculously limited set of data. Your memories, your education, what you read last week. Your unconscious, however, is a vast repository. It contains the subliminal details you've noticed but not registered, the emotional lessons from every experience you've ever had, and deeper still, the archetypal patterns laid down over millions of years of human evolution. To navigate your life using only the ego is to try and cross the ocean with a street map of your hometown. To learn to consult the wise old man is to finally gain access to the satellite view, the deep current charts, the celestial map of the stars. It is not irrational to listen to this voice. The deepest irrationality is to ignore the most profound source of wisdom you will ever have. The scene returns to the Dali-esque desert from the beginning. The sun is now rising, casting a golden light. The grandfather clock is no longer half buried, it stands whole and majestic. Its hands are still. In the distance, a single, clear path can be seen, leading toward the horizon. Phase 6. The call to action. The encounter with the wise old man is the beginning of a journey, not the end. It is the end of being an orphan, and the beginning of becoming an apprentice to your own soul. Now, I have a question for you. A koan for our community. In the comments below, I want you to share one thing. If your own wise old man or wise old woman were to appear to you in a sanctum of your own making, what form do you imagine they would take? A warrior? A librarian? A gardener? A silent child? There are no wrong answers, only reflections from your own deep ocean. I will read them all. If you are ready to continue your descent into the landscape of the psyche, and to claim the wisdom that is your birthright, then subscribe to Ego and Echo. We are the cartographers of the soul's terrain. Join our expedition. Your dialogue with your inner mentor will inevitably lead you to confront more challenging aspects of your psyche. Often, the wise old man appears to give you the strength to face his necessary opposite, the shadow. To understand the darkness you must integrate to become whole. Your next session is our video, The Shadow. How to befriend your inner demon. It is the next step on the path. The link is on your screen now, and in the description below. The labyrinth is not a prison. It is a training ground. And you hold the key.